Today we're going to be looking at the best Magic the Gathering creatures to be sacrificed. You don't mind if they're dying because they're giving you value. Alright, I'm going to start off with maybe the absolute obvious. We have Geralf's Messenger. It's a black 3/2 zombie. When it enters the battlefield tapped, but that doesn't mean it's dangerous, because also when it enters the battlefield, the opponent is going to lose 2 life. And also it has Undying. So what that means is when the creature dies, if it had no +1/+1 counters on it, you return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter. So it like dies, it comes back, it comes bigger than ever, and it's still punching you straight in the face. Keep doing that multiple times. And by the way, if you get rid of those +1/+1 counters, that's extra value. Then you can keep looping this damn sacrificed Geralf's Messenger for forever. Alright, next up. More obvious cards. You're gonna get extra special treatment if you give me a cool, unique card. Which I didn't even start the show with myself. Bloodghast. I'll tell you something cool and unique about this card is its new art. The black 2/1 Vampire Scout. It can't block. Has haste as long as an opponent has 10 or less life. That's like more of a bonus. The value to this card is though when it dies, you just play a land, any land. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you swoop it back from the graveyard back to the battlefield. Absolutely no problem. Say Uro is like the opposite. This is not the best card to sacrifice. It sacrifices itself and not really voluntarily. If you bring it back from the graveyard, you can't do it over and over. You're not going to be happy doing it over and over again. You don't mind if it dies, but it's not the best thing to be sacrificed. Let's take a look at King Ginger's Doomweaver. What's the Doomweaver? We have a 6-mana 1/8 spider with reach and soulbound. So you gotta pair it with someone so that they're best friends forever. I think there's a mechanic called Best Friends Forever. I'm not referring to that. Now, as long as Doomweaver is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, when this creature dies, draw cards equal to its power. So Doomweaver not looking very powerful unless you can swap it around. You do the old switcheroo, try to flip the power and toughness on all your creatures. Does that work? I think there's some cards that literally flip the power and toughness on creatures. There's like Twisted Reality or something like that. Twisted Image. That's right. You get Twisted Image on this. This is quite a bit of a combo here. Switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. You sacrifice your Doomweaver, and then you're rich. You'll be richer than Elon Musk. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Squee Goblin Nabob. Do I count this one? Nabob is like a good discard outlet. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return Squee from your graveyard to your hand. Better as a discard outlet than a sacrifice, but whatever. Good enough. Ooh, this one's true. Veteran Explorer. True. Okay, green 1/1 Human Soldier Scout. When it dies, which we're happy about on this show. Each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles it. I have to admit, the first time I faced a Veteran Explorer deck, I'm like, what is this for? Why would you want to put this in your human deck or your soldier deck or whatever nonsense you're up to? So I attacked. They blocked. They got a bunch of mana. I got a bunch of mana. Turns out they were just throwing out like Haymaker Planeswalkers every turn. I Force of Willed the first one. I had nothing for the second one. And then eventually I died. I learned my lesson. Don't attack into the Veteran Explorer. Protect it like the president. Okay, next up, we've got our first super chat of the day. Thank you very much, Jitsuku, with the Protein Hulk. Is that true? Oh yeah, I guess it is true. The hard problem is getting this thing in play. Okay, Protein Hulk. The hard part is getting in play, but when it gets sacrificed, you're gonna win. Do people still play with this? Just out of curiosity? Like, the card is fine, right? It's just expensive. It's a 7-mana 6/6. When it dies, Search your library for any number of creature cards with total mana value 6 or less, then put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And you better believe it, whatever they find is going to kill you. I'm not going to go over any of the combos with Protein Hulk because I'll remember it, and then we don't talk about Protein Hulk for like a year, and then I forget it again, and then I keep asking chat, how do we win with this thing? I guess the combos change every year. Like, we have a combo, but then new sets come out, and there's now even better Protein Hulk combo. Tetsuku plays still in the Gruul Minskin Buddha, and you can sacrifice it, right? Can't you sacrifice your creatures with the Minskin Boo Planeswalker? I think you can. Alright, next up. Abza with Cauldron Familiar. Remember, extra points if it's unique. We all know this one. Oh, no, maybe not everybody. It's okay. We got a 1 black, 1/1 kitty. Enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain a life. Sacrifice a food, though. Return Cauldron Familiar from your graveyard to the battlefield. Cats are so hungry for supper that they'll come back from the dead to go eat it. That's the moral of the story here. So now that King Ginger gets a freebie and then comes in with the super chat. Alendra the Dusk Rose. I guess you know your chances of getting chosen again for free are very low. Alendra the Dusk. What is this? Oh, it's Alenda. Alenda. The 4-mana 1/1 Vampire Knight with lifelink. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Alenda the Dusk Rose. When Alenda dies, however, we're going to create X 1/1 white. Vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Alenda's power. Yeah, we're gonna build up a great Alenda. Alenda gonna fall. Alenda is like those spiders from Australia. They're big, you swat it hard with a broom and a bunch of small spiders explode out of it. The babies. Alenda giving birth to more vampires. Alright, next up, we've got Bloodfire Colossus. Never heard of it. Must be a fire suggestion. We have an 8-mana 6/6 giant. Pay a red, sacrifice Bloodfire Colossus to deal 6 damage to each creature and each player. Oh, that's crazy. So it's basically a board wipe on a 6/6 giant. That's a nice suggestion. I like it. Okay, next super chat we got from Ecos. Thank you very much. Noble Benefactor. It's funny if you have an opponent agent. So we got a 3-mana 2/2 cleric. What is it? A human cleric. Errata. If Noble Benefactor is put into any graveyard from play, I feel like this is the ancient text is screwing. I'm gonna read the updated text. Okay, when it dies, each player may search their library for a card and put that card into their hand. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles. Ah, so you've got like a little bit of a tutor action going on here. But if you've got, as you said, the opposition agent, you basically control everybody's search. I like it. That's a bad I'd say that's a bad combo that actually works too. Okay, Dr. Nemo, the Halloween Spirit Keeper. Halloween Spirit. The Spirit of Halloween. Is this a real card? Oh no, it's not Halloween Spirit Keeper, it's Hallowed Spirit Keeper. I'm lucky Scryfall even found this. The Halloween. White, 1 generic, 3/2 avatar. Whatever that is. What the hell is an avatar? Okay, Vigilance. When Hallowed Spirit Keeper dies, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. I can't remember what hallowed means. I think it's something spiritual, like godlike. You know what? I thought you meant Halloween Spirit Keeper. I mean, that literally could be a card. I mean, there's at least one card called Halloween. I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking All Hallows Eve. Maybe it's the same thing. But it has a pumpkin on it, so it looks like it's Halloween. Next super chat comes from Pacers Fan Forever. Thank you so much. The Triplicate Titan. Them Titans dividing themselves into 3. All right, we got, well, not exactly divided. They're just literally 3 Titans in one. 9 mana, 9/9, Flying Vigilance Trample. But when it dies, it's going to create a 3/3 colorless Golem with Flying. A Golem with Vigilance and a Golem with Trample. They're all artifacts. Are they all artifacts? Create a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact. Yeah, they're all artifacts. They cut them off into 3 pieces. Do they all share one butthole, though? What are they gonna do when you cut, like, if there's only one butthole, 3 beings, what happens? What happens? You can start splitting them off from the crack, but I don't know. Life's mysteries. Okay, next up, here's a weird suggestion, Anger. It's a creature, right? Yeah, that is a creature. Okay, it's a red 3 generic 2/2 with haste. As long as Anger is in your graveyard, you control mountain. Creatures you control have haste. It's interesting, you have to have a mountain in play. You don't have a mountain, you don't get haste. So this is not real. That is a weird thing. It's more of a discard outlet than anything. But, I mean, truth be told, you sack this thing, your creature's gonna have haste. You never know. We already went over there. You don't want to sack your Uro. No one ever wants to sack their Uro. Like, eventually you're going to run out of cards in your graveyard. That's bad synergy. It's not actually going anywhere. Is there a death trigger on Sundering Titan? Sundering Titan. Couldn't remember. I know there's an ETB. Oh, I'm thinking of Sun Titan. We have an 8/8, 7/10 Golem. When enters the battlefield, or if leaves the battlefield, choose land of each basic land type. Then you destroy those lands. Is this allowed? Can we play this in Commander? Are people rule zeroing this thing out of the game? I think this is fair game. We can play with Sundering Titan. It's 8 mana, goddammit. It's not like Armageddon or anything like that. Okay, Nemesis with the Anger. Shoot, did we just do that one? Ah, damn it, you got sniped so hard, Nemesis. So hard. So sorry. You gave me a $5 super chat. You give me another one. I'm gonna keep an eye out for you, Nemesis. You throw another bone out there, I'll grab it. Okay, but I will, in the meantime, move on to Jitsuku's super chat with talking about Haymaker Planeswalkers earlier. Try Arena Rector. Yeah, instead of grabbing the lands to put the Planeswalkers in play, why don't we just put them in play? That's exactly what Arena Rector. And I was in the I was in a little bit of a different spot when I first faced Arena Rector. And it wasn't in Commander, it was in Legacy. So my opponent plays Arena Rector. It's a 1/2. When it dies, you may you may exile it, and if you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. I was like, what the hell are you packing in there? You seriously have Ugin in your deck? So anyway, I didn't attack. I mean, it literally just said, what it was dangerous for, and I didn't even dare. I would never dare attack into this thing. Okay, Nemesis. I wouldn't say redeems. We got Worm Coil Engine. All right, that is to compensate for the last super chat that accidentally got sniped. But you're not a common donator, so we're not gonna. Usually, if you get sniped or something, I just donate it to the next person. Okay, 6 mana for a 6/6 Death Touch lifelink. If it dies, create a 3/3 colorless Worm artifact creature token with Death Touch and a 3/3 colorless Worm artifact creature token with lifelink. Very curious, actually. Is this like a Commander staple or anything? Like, you can put it in any deck, technically. It's not bad. You pad your life total a little bit. Worm Coil Engine will do it. You need a good blocker. Worm Coil Engine will do it. You want to wipe the board? Worm Coil Engine doesn't care. You get like 3 sack out. You need to sack 3 creatures. You can do that with Worm Coil too. 3/3 is like, in fact, every Rector are nasty. Okay, next up, let's take the Abyssal Kokusho, the Evening Star. This is a 6 mana 5/5 Drago. And flying, when Kokusho, the Evening Star, dies, each opponent loses 5 life. You gain life equal to life lost this way. All right, so this is gonna be some value. Where's my value sound effect? You actually just might kill people if they're like, oh, you're at 3 life, you're at 5, you're at 7. All right, Kukosho, it's time for you to be sacrificed. You're going straight to the bin. There's better uses. There's better uses for you. Okay, we got Pabno with Cacophony Scamp. It's an actual card name. And its cousins, Buffed and Sack. Cacophony. They're using this word a lot lately. Cacophony Scamp. Oh, here it is. Scamp. It's a red 1/1. Whenever Cacophony Scamp deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it, and if you do, you proliferate. You hear that? You scared, Commander players? Hear that word proliferate? I'm sure it annoys you. When Cacophony Scamp dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. I actually faced this card once. And yeah, the whole death trigger thing is actually really annoying. So they attack, they buff this thing up, and like the longer it stays on the board, sort of the more dangerous it gets. You never know at what point they're going to just sack it to, I mean, it's a goblin, so it can be sacked to Skirk Prospector for all we know, and basically dome you for a bunch of life. Does lose life equal commander damage? It does not, as far as I know, as far as I understand. Next up, let's see. We got Pollyanna with, I had a deck called Romanimator, Draco in the Graveyard. But does that... Where's Draco? Why didn't... Oh, I put Drago. Does Draco want to be sacrificed? Which Draco, though? Well, I think there's only one Draco. Romanimator. Honestly, don't get it. Moving on. We did Academy Rector. We just did it! Are you like 5 minutes behind? We actually didn't do Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler is a 1 mana 2/1 zombie. It can't block, but you may cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard as long as you can control a zombie. Sacrifice Gravecrawler all you want. It will just keep coming back. No problem whatsoever. Next up... We did Giraffe Messenger. Are we already done for? What cards out there trigger on death? Those are the cards you want to look up. Let's see what Christopher B has up in store. Celestial Gatekeeper. Celestial Gatekeeper is a 5 mana 2/2 bird with flying. And whenever it's put into a graveyard from play, remove it from the game. Then return up to 2 target bird and or cleric cards from your graveyard to play. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we have other super chats to get through. We got Robert with the Chasm Skulker. Chasm Skulker. It's Skulky. Oh, this thing. 3 mana 1/1. Whenever you draw a card, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on this fellow. And then when it dies, you create X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters that were on Chasm Skulker. Need to go wide? You sacrifice your Chasm Skulker. We drew enough cards off of you, and now it's time to cash in. Next up... Luis with Another Trader. What is Another Traitor? Never heard of that one. Another Trader is a black. It's actually sort of new. Black 1/1, Shadow and Haste. Whenever another creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you can pay black. If you do, return it back from the battlefield. Oh, that is a neat way of bringing this thing back. So you sacrifice it. You know, if you have 2 Nether Traders, they actually bounce off of each other. But if you have any sort of like, this is actually really good in a sacrifice deck. So it's effectively like another version of Gravecrawler. In fact, you could like sacrifice your Gravecrawler, bring the Nether Trader back. It's not a zombie. Hopefully you have other zombies, but then you bring back your Gravecrawler and you just like sacrifice these things over and over again. Actually, it doesn't matter. If you have one Gravecrawler, you might as well just sacrifice the Gravecrawler and keep recasting it. But this is another option. Pacers fan forever. Arena Rector is bonker. We did that one. Pacers fan forever. You unfortunately got sniped. Do you have another one, Pacers? You keep throwing out the other arena card. But we did that one too. You did arena. Yeah, I know I did arena rector. That's why. So I'm trying to tell you. Oh, is it another Draco? You can let it. I mean, you have you can shoot cards out for forever. Just look at everyone else in chat. They just keep throwing those things out there. Okay, Luis Turan also has Nether Trader plus Bloodghast. Oh, there we go. You know what? I keep forgetting Bloodghast is a spirit. Oh, no, it's not a spirit. Isn't it a vampire? Hold on. What was it? It's a vampire spirit. You know what? I was right by accident, essentially. Okay, I'm just gonna donate Pacers thing to to PM Revelark. Revelark sees 5 mana 4/3 elemental. Back when evoking was fair. Flying when enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a card, like, when it's on the battlefield, you don't even really want to kill this thing, because it's just going to give your opponent value. But if it's in your deck for the right reasons, you can sacrifice it yourself to enable some sort of creature combo of some sort. At the very least, it's not going to feel bad. Spike Feeder is terrible to sacrifice. You don't want to sacrifice your Spike. What do you get out of Spike Feeder dying? It's a terrible card to sacrifice. Awful. Technically slightly larger super chat. Okay, Andrew Soviak with Serrated Scorpion. Very, very tasteful. $3. Most people donate between like $2 and $5, and very rarely in between, unless you're Steve Cooper, who's donating for someone else. We have a black one too. Now, when it dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life. That's interesting. If you're in a 20-player game, you'll gain 40 life. Think about it. All you have to do is organize the 40-player game. In my opinion. Charlie Kraken says, "Have you done Abyssal Gatekeeper yet?" We have not. The Abyssal Gatekeeper. We got a 2-mana horror. It's a 1/1, and when it dies, each player sacrifices a creature. I sacrifice a creature, and it looks like I have to sacrifice another creature, but hopefully that means you're sacrificing something better. We're in the sacrifice creature business, all right? We sacrifice creatures for the greater good, or for something. Okay, hold on. King Ginger's up to something. He keeps saying, I sent the same super chat at the same time. Give him credit and donate mine. All right. Okay, so you have Ecos with Aura Thief. We'll give that one to you, I guess. Especially if Enchanted Evening is out. The Aura Thief. 4 mana 2/2 illusion. It's got flying. I don't know why. His wings don't look like it can do crap for this weight. I mean, look at those muscles. Muscles don't... When you start working out, you don't lose weight, you gain weight. That's all muscle mass over there. Flying, when Aura Thief is put into a graveyard from play, you gain control of all enchantments. All of them. Everyone's like, no one touched the Aura Thief. But then you say, well, I'm going to sacrifice it anyway. Illusion steals reality from the unwise. Will Anderson, Curse Cat? It's not a very good example. I mean, that's part of the ability. Next up, we'll go with Hinaria, Bearer of the Heavens. This is 8 mana, 10/10. When it dies, we destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. It's funny that it's delayed. It's like, I don't know, it dies, then it's like in the movie when something dies, and then after a little while, I don't know, the body explodes. Same thing in the video games. You kill the boss, it's like inanimate, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, some life force inside starts beaming out, and then boom! The next end step. Why the next? So if I kill it, if I sacrifice this at my end step, at the end of my end step, like someone gets a full turn, what's the flavor to that? That makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. If it's not obvious, it's gotta be like, these gotta be like cards you don't sacrifice. It's like, I can't sacrifice my Bearer of Heavens. Like, intentionally. Like, so it can't be any abilities like that or Curse Catch. That's like it's not really the theme of the show here. Okay, King Ginger, didn't really get sniped, but sacrificed. Sacrificed a super chat for Ecos. Look at that. That was, what a team play around here. A Blackbird, Arc-bound Shikari. Turn from the grave, kill it again, repeat, and keep spreading counters. This is a 3-mana Cat Soldier. ETB, put a +1/+1 counter on each other artifact you control. It's also got modular too. Kill it, return it from the grave. That's not really on theme of the show though. Like there's no. Sorry. No, actually you're right. Technically, all the modular creatures count. When it dies, you put the counter somewhere. Oh, you know what? No, yeah, that actually completely works. I thought to enable this, we need to reanimate it, but it actually has, like, it does something on death. Frankly, all the modular creatures are fair game for this show. Fury with Scam. You know, you're not wrong, but not on the theme of the show. It's not really being sacrificed, it's just dying. Because that's just the... What does it count? You said Fury with Scam? Let me word how Evoke says. Evoke. Oh, we don't see the flavor text on... We don't see the text on Evoke. I think it's like you have to sacrifice it. Best MTG creatures to be sacrificed? Okay, we can say Fury. I guess the Evoke creatures just by itself count. Yeah, you're not wrong. You know, Tammy, you're not wrong. Evoke does say sacrifice. Well, it actually doesn't say sacrifice, but that's what it does mean. Yeah, Evoke counts. Okay, if you're... Honestly, you don't even need those reanimation effects with Fury. It's fine by itself. Pretty damn strong. Okay, next up, John... Oh, no, hold on. Andrew bumps you again. Oh, no, I did that one. I just didn't... I can clear my super chats. Okay, John. We're back to you. You got the Ares Oofs. Needs some synergy, huh? Don't worry. Every card in this show today needs synergy. By itself, they're useless. 2 mana for a 1/1 fairy with flying. ETB, untap up to 2 lands. This literally doesn't have anything to do with sacrificing. This is like an ETB card. We'll donate your super chat to Chuck Norris for president. Safi, Eric's daughter. This is a 2 mana 2/2. Sacrifice Safi. Oh, this doesn't count. This is literally part of the ability. Summer Mermaid Star. Adric. See, these cards have to be like they incidentally, like if they got sacrificed, they do cool things. But they can't be automatic. They can't, the sacrifice can't be built in. We'll have another show one day, like the best with the sacrifice ability or something like that. Adric, mathematical genius. We have 2 mana for a 1/1 human advisor. Pay 3. Tap, copy target artifact. Sorry, activated or triggered ability you control. And you may choose new targets for the copy. The ultimate sacrifice. Oh, it sacrificed itself? Have this card too. Don't worry, we're all learning. We're all learning. I'm looking for like jank stuff that like if you had... So like the deal is, let's say we had, what's it called? What's a... Damn it, what... I'm really blanking on those like artifacts or creatures that say sacrifice a creature. Altar of something. A million altars. Let's say you had an altar of dementia in play. That you could sacrifice a creature. If it does something cool, something wow effect, then it belongs on the show. If we get nothing out of that sacrifice, you can get buzzed. You don't believe me? I'm gonna buzz you. I'm gonna buzz you. I love the buzzer. You know what I also love? My sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, by the way, deal of the week is 15% off all Secret Lair singles and box sets. So if there are full box sets that you're looking forward to, or even the singles, there's a huge palette of sweet arts for all your favorite cards. Get 15% off today at FusionGamingOnline.com. Also, pre-order Mon Horizons product. You can get the sealed product in Canada right now. Singles will have to wait as they get revealed and spoiled. But when you're ready to upgrade your decks with Modern Horizons, you might want to upgrade at FusionGamingOnline.com. And I'll tell you why. Because when you do that, you support the channel. And you even support it more when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get 5% off, an extra 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. You're looking for that competitive edge, trying to learn, pioneer, modern, or a new format to play for your next, I don't know, RCQ. There's no better way to sharpen your game than playing on Magic Online, because that's where everyone else sharpening in their game is playing. You prepare online, and if you're prepared for that, you're prepared for anything. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link, renting cards for Magic Online using Mana Traders. You can rent using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_7LH. And now back to the main attraction. Not Altar of Dementia, not Adric, not Zap. Did we get 3 buzzes in a row? We got literally 3 duds in a row here. Cloud of Fairies into Safi into Adric. So we still have to keep with this donation. Jason Putz with Sad Robots. Is it called Sad Robot? Or you're talking about, just curious, maybe there was an actual card called Sad Robot. You're talking about, damn it, what is this stupid card? Commander All-Star. Modern Unplayable. Sim something. Simulacrum or something like that. The Sad Simulacrum. There we go. The Sad... It's a Solemn Simulacrum. 4 mana 2/2. It ETBs, you get a basic land card. And when it dies, don't worry. It put you in... The Solemn Simulacrum could put you in its will. And it said, you can have its 1 card. I leave to you this 1 card of mine. Use it wisely. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Okay, next up. Pacers Fan Forever with the Murderous Red Cap. Thank you very much. Am I getting all the super chats through? I'm seeing like 1 million super chats being... Oh, my super chat thing is broken. Oh, no! Oh, that's gonna be terrible today. What happened? I see, it's just stopped giving me my... It stopped showing me all my super chats. Oh, that's... Okay, well, this is gonna be awkward. Okay, okay, Pacers Fan Forever with Murderous Red Cap. On my side, it, like, shows me, like, people... Like, the super chats start lining up. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. And so I have to go back into the depths of chat to find it. Murderous Red Cap, a 4 mana 2/2, enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to its power to any target, usually 2 damage. And then as persists, so when it comes back, you'll deal just a slightly less amount of damage, but it will come back. Well, now what the hell do I do? What if I refresh? Okay, I hope I don't break the stream here. I'm gonna refresh the page for a second. I hope I don't break the stream. Did I break the stream? Okay, the super chats came back. That's what's important to me. Okay, my list of super chats came back. Okay, it's all working as planned. Brendan Pedden with the Wirewood Herald. Okay, we have a 2 mana 1/1 elf. When it dies, however, you may search your library for an elf card. Reveal that card and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Only awkward thing is that not a lot of elf sacrifice effects. This card's a banger. The problem is, how does this thing die? Is the real problem. Okay, the goblins laughed as the elf ran away until more came back. Yeah, well, one sacrifice is someone else's gain around here. Okay, we're gonna take I'm gonna wait on this one. We're gonna wait until there's no sacrifices left, and then sorry, no super chats left, and I'll throw yours in, Steve Cooper. So don't worry, there are freebies on the way. Okay, Emperor says, would Faith-Bound Judge count to be disturbed? It's on Faith-Bound Judge. Yeah, I think that's okay. Hold on, Defender Flying Vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Faith-Bound Judge has 2 or fewer Judgment counters on it, put a Judgment counter on it. And as long as it has 3 or more Judgment counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So you can sack it, and it will. You do have the option to play it from as its disturbed cost, and then enchant a player. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a Judgment counter on Sinner's Judgment. Then if there are 3 or more Judgment counters on it, enchanted player loses the game. Oh, good God. If Sinner's Judgment would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. This is like an awkward sacrifice outlet. Like, step 1, put it in play. Step 2, sacrifice it. Step 3, get 7 mana. Very clunky. Big clunkaruno over there. Our Korean fellow over here with the Mirror Retriever. Mirror Retriever, a 2-mana 1/1. When it dies, however, you return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. That thing is insane. This looks so it looks like crap, doesn't it? It's like a 2-mana 1/1. That's useless. But if you have a means of like churning cards into your graveyard, it actually just becomes basically a tutor. You deal with 1 artifact, then it comes back. What's going on? It's basically, these are the hands, and it's pulling something out of the garbage with its feet. Strangely designed mirror, in my opinion. Okay, next up. Okay, Summer Mermaid Star. Looking for redemption. Nardole. Resourceful Cyborg. Okay, what's with it? It's 2 bodies, one to sack in 1 body. It's time. This time it's not a buzzer. Read Undying. Okay, it does, yeah, Undying. Why does this have Undying? It looks literally like a regular human being standing in line to get like groceries for Christmas Eve. Nardole, Resourceful Cyborg. I guess it's more machine than man. It's 2-mana 1/2. Tap, add a blue for each counter on Nardole. Spend this mana only to cast non-creature spells. For each counter? Any counter? Anything at all? And it dies. It does come back as a +1/+1. And Doctor's Companion. You can have 2 commanders if the other is a doctor. Well, yeah, what are your credentials, Doctor Who? Which academy did you graduate from? I call some BS around here. Next super chat, pays a fan for Kura, the Boundless Sky. Look up Kura. How many Kuras can be out there? The 5-mana 4/4 Drago. It's also a spirit. Just like Haku from Spirited Away. It could be Haku. The blue one must be Haku. Okay, it's a flying death toucher, and when Kura the Boundless Sky dies, choose 1. Search your library for up to 3 land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Honestly, that sort of sucks. Spent 5 mana to get this in play, and when it dies, you get 3 lands into your hand. Why can't we put them on the battlefield? Then create, or you can create an XX green green spirit creature token where X is the number of lands you control. That could be a banger. I like that one. Kid good times with Voldaren Thrill Seeker. Well, why don't you get on some roller coasters, Voldaren? It's a 3-mana 1/1 vampire with backup 2. When this creature enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following ability until end of turn. Pay 1, sacrifice this creature. It said sacrifice. Deals damage equal to its power to any target. You can't already have built-in sacrifice. That's not allowed around here. Accesta with Kitchen Finks. Pretty vanilla sacrifice outlet. This is the one where enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. And when it dies, you're going to get another 2 life. Next super chat coming out for King Ginger. The Fairy Blade Crafter. Fairy Blade Crafter. 3 mana 2/2 flying rogue. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on your Fairy Blade Crafter. Now, when Fairy Blade Crafter dies, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is equal to the power. Power to the Fairy Blade Cutter. Must have big Fairy Blade sorry, not cutter, Blade Crafter. You have to need a big Blade Crafter. Okay, who doesn't have a card yet? I don't think we got Matthias and Mind Slicer. Is this a good sacrifice on? Let's can't spell Mind Slicer. Getting Mind Sculptors around here. We got 4 mana 4/3. Now when it dies, oh my god, you have to discard the hand? It is the thing that goes bump in the night. Also, it just completely racks up your brain. Okay, next up, we've got... Sean needs that for the fairy deck. What, the Fairy Blade Crafter? Yeah, you throw that in your fairy deck. You need some beef in those fairies. Poor fairy players. Like, there's no meat on their bones. Nothing. Unfortunately. Bojack Yellow with Icing Death? Is that a real card? It is. What a weird name. You are born. I will call you Icing Death. Yeah, that sounds great. Especially when they're a little baby. Ah, Icing Death. You're so cute, you are. 4 mana 4/3 dragon with flying and vigilance. Now when it dies, create Icing Death Frost Tongue. A legendary white equipment artifact token with equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls and equip 2. That is one of the most weirdest death triggers of all time. I mean, why? It dies. What is this? Icing Death Frost? What is the flavor here? It creates an Icing Death Frost Tongue. So I guess the tongue is more valuable than the dragon itself. And what's funny is, like, the dragon has all these properties and doesn't even do that stuff. So weird. We got Eye Chip. Did we do Feral Ghoul? Nope. Three mana 2/2 with Menace. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on your Feral Ghoul. Actually, no, hold on. That doesn't qualify yet. When Feral Ghoul dies... Alright, now we're talking. Each opponent gets a number of rad counters equal to its power. What is rad any good? Like, it's such a weird mechanic. Like, I can't tell if, like, it's gonna help or hurt people. Because it's like a milling mechanic, right? It drops, so in terms of talking about the Icing Death, it drops a weapon. That's the lore of Icing Death. Ah, so it's actually not the actual tongue? It was called the tongue. Like, isn't the tongue the weapon? This is like when you beat up an enemy and it leaves, like, something behind. You take it and go... you take it, and then it makes a sound. No, that's when you enter a dungeon. This is when you... But none of these are item retrieval sounds. But whatever. Alright, moving on. King Ginger with the False Prophet. False Prophet. White, 2 generic for a 2/2 human cleric. When False Prophet is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile all the creatures. We're all gonna get wiped out here. Alright, everyone. My lead. We're gonna jump. And no one else bothered to wait to see what would happen after the person jumped. We got some rad counters are cool. Okay, next up we're gonna have who has not got a card yet. If anyone's not got a card. If anyone's lurking, you always have a chance. We got Mercarcher, Copper Gnomes. Did I pronounce that? Mercarcher? Mercarcher. Okay, we have a 2 mana 1/1. Oh, it sacrifices itself. It's gotta be cards that, like you have Alter. I know. I've buzzed 20 people today so far. If we sacrificed it with Altar of Dementia, do we get value? That's the question that we need answered. This card, does it say choose start? No, this has its own ability to sacrifice. Hinaria, Treasure Keeper. I'm gonna look out for you, Nikachu, if you want to redeem yourself. Looking out to all the new, everybody who chats for the first time. Okay, we have a 4-mana 3/3. See, when it dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. With mana value 3 or less, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. So it's like Cascade on Death? Is that what I'm interpreting this? Put all revealed cards not cast this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. That is so weird. The Death Cascade. Okay, Pacers. Junji. Are these all like... yeah, I was about to say, are these all Kamigawa dragons? 5 mana, 5/5, flying and menace. And also when it dies, choose one. Each opponent discards 2 cards, and they lose 2 life. Oh my goodness, this is like, you blightening everyone, basically? It's literally a blightening. Sort of. It's blightening for all, but it's 2 damage, and it's 2 life instead of 3 damage. Or you can put target non-dragon creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, and you lose 2 life. Well, that's a small price to pay to sack our... Frankly, I'd just prefer to keep this thing on the battlefield. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Oh, whoa! Stitcher Supplier. You need supplies. I got heads and kidneys. Kidneys go for a lot of money around here. I wonder, yeah, anyway, Stitcher Supply. We got a black 1/1. Enters the battlefield or dies. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. I bet this is just a front for a much more sinister business. It's cutting up bodies for, like, other things, but really taking the vital organs and selling them on the black market. Next up... Unfortunately, we did Academy Reactor. Did we do Academy Reactor? Hold on, is there Academy Reactor? I think we did Rector. No, there's no... Okay, yeah, I think you mean Academy... We did Academy Rector. Some of the obvious ones have already been done. Actually, a lot of obvious ones have also not been done. Alright, Ecos, what do we got here? Don't worry, you can try infinite... Look at everyone else in chat. They're trying infinite number of times. But they're regular, so I can ignore them most of the time. They already got it. Their super chat, their cards for today. Nested Shambler. The general rule is everyone is gonna get at least 1 card for the show. Everyone's gonna get a shot. It's a black 1/1 zombie. Now when this dies, create X tap 1/1 green squirrels? Where X is the Nested Shambler's power? The hell is this? Home is where the heart was. And squirrels don't eat dead bodies. What's the flavor to this? I guess this is nested. Was this? This has got to be some sort of reference to like what's it called? Hermit Druid or something like that. Something to that effect. We did Arena Rector, not Academy. Oh, is that one? Was that what she suggested? Oh, she suggested Academy? Academy Reactor. Did we do Academy? So I haven't done Academy. I think we did it. There's 2 or is there one that we did not do? We did Arena Rector, not Academy. Oh, hold on. Maybe, is it Rector? Academy. Oh, we didn't do Academy. Okay, you know what? You're right. Okay. So we didn't do it. But also you didn't spell it out for me, which could have been more useful. Okay. Academy Rector on behalf of Mercarcher. We got 4 mana 1/2, and when it's put into a graveyard from play, you may remove Academy Rector from the game. And if you do, search your library for an enchantment card and put that card into play. Then shuffle your library. I think we're all on the same page. Yeah, Imagine, you know, as Magic the Gathering players, we very often get the misspelling of some Magic card. For me, very often when I try to spell merfolk, for like at least a solid 7 years, it was spelling it menfolk. As if that was even a thing. Anyway, okay, moving on. I can't speak English, but blah, blah, blah. Gamekeeper. Gamekeeper is a 4-mana 2/2 elf, and also when it dies, you may exile it. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield and put all other cards revealed this way into your graveyard. That is so weird. So one elf turned into like a tutor. This elf is like Impulse. It's like they're putting some blue cards on green, but upon death. That is just wild. I didn't know elves had that sort of power. Really hard to put that in an elf deck, though. Okay, Marcio. We've got Imp, 2/2 tokens from Judith, Carnage Connoisseur. Judith. Sorry, Judith. Okay, we got a 5-mana 3/4. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you choose one. The spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, or you create a 2/2 red imp creature token with when this creature dies. Oh, so it's not Judith itself, it's the creature that it's the creatures that it makes. I get. This is very loose, but I'll count it, especially since you super chatted it. Yeah, so when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. That's pretty powerful, to be honest. That's not bad. Okay, Jay. No card yet. Hidetsugo. Oh, Hidetsugo. And Kairi. Okay, we have 5 mana. What do you think? Why is this blue? I thought Hidetsugo is like exclusively red. It's a 5/4 Ogre Demon Dragon with flying. Hidetsugo and Kairi enter the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. That is a brainstorm. Then it would die. When they die together. Exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. So, oh my god. So you're supposed to, like, brainstorm, like, Ulamog on top of your library and then, like, hit your opponent for 1 billion. But it's actually, yeah, it's only 1 target opponent. Oh, it's not each opponent. Now, if it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it. You can cast it without paying your mana cost. That's insane. That card is wild. Too bad it doesn't have a very good picture. I'd put it as my thumbnail. This card is absolutely bonkers. Okay, Ecos, the Ashen Skin Zubera. This is a 2-mana 1/2 Zubera Spirit. So when Ashen Skin Zubera is put into a graveyard from play, a target opponent discards a card for each Zubera put into a graveyard from play this turn. How many Zuberas are in this game? Okay, we're gonna look up creature and Zubera. Like, they make it sound like, oh, there's millions of Zuberas. You know, go wild. Alright, we have... Okay, I'll show you how many there are. People who are playing Zubera Kindred out there, I'm sorry, there's slim pickings over here. Yeah, we have a whole 7 Zuberas. I just learned about this creature type today. But apparently they printed them across the Kamigawa block because they had it in 2 sets. That is so weird. So what does it do? It's put into a graveyard. Target opponent discards a card for each Zubera put into a graveyard from play. What the hell? Technically, all the changelings are Zuberas. You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Sean. Okay, next up. Kano, apparently with no card. Rayhan. Last of the Abzan. Really? The last of the Abzan. And also not actually Abzan is Golgari. Complete liar. Lied on their driver's license or, like, I don't know, has a fake passport or something. It's a 0/0 human warrior. Rayhan, last of the Abzan, enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. And whenever a creature you control dies or is put into the command zone, if it had 1 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target creature. Huh? Okay, so it enters the battlefield with its counters. Whenever a creature you control dies, or is put into the command zone, if it had one or more counters, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target creature. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's like if your it's funny it includes your commander. If your commander doesn't die, but it goes swoop back to the command zone, you're all good. You're fine. Next up, King. We got a king with us. King Arthas with Ember Fist. Oh no, hold on. Did we do yours? We just did the. Or is this the? Oh, this is a different Ember Fist Zubera. We're pulling out the Zuberas today. It's a 2-mana 1/2. Now, when this is put into a graveyard from play, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of Zuberas in all graveyards from play this turn. This is so wild. Like, what is the point of this thing? You're supposed to board wipe yourself? It deals damage to target creature or player equal to the... This is like a most convoluted... This was like a creature type meant to fail, as far as I'm concerned. Or was this like some like really super jank draft strategy that I'm just not getting here? To be finalized after 3 to 5 production batches, maybe. Yeah, glad we old schoolers could introduce you to a new creature type. I'm like super old school, but like I wasn't playing during the Kamigawa era. And frankly, as a competitive player, I would have never heard of these things. Steve Cooper, thank you so much for your big, juicy, generous super chat. Vengeful Stranger. And 4 donations. Vengeful, oh, Strangler. We strangle. Probably also a stranger as well. It's a 2-mana 2/1 human rogue. Can't block. When Vengeful Strangler dies, return to the battlefield transformed under your control. Attached to a target, creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Why turns? Oh, because it turns into an aura. Oh my goodness! It's literally just the hands! Enchant creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, enchant permanent's controller sacrifices a non-land permanent and loses 1 life. Ecos with some trivia here. If you have 4 Ember Fists in play that are sacked, that totals 16 damage if you sack them and have the triggers on the stack. That is great to know. Dinglebag. Alright, you get the first donation. Bizzle Gatekeeper. I think we might have done that one. Yeah, I think we did that one. Toilet Dock. Death Pact Angel. 6-mana 5/5 Angel with flying, and when it dies, you put a 1/1 black and white cleric creature token onto the battlefield. It has pay 6 mana, sacrifice this creature, return a card named Death Pact Angel from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, so this is like, I don't know how to describe this thing. It's funny, this is an angel that dies, but then a cleric brings it back from the dead. So don't the angels, when they die, they go back to heaven? Very weird lore here. Uluk doesn't Uluk doesn't have one? Okay, hold on, let's look at Uluk. No card yet. The Goblin Gardener. What are your crops, Goblin? We got 4-mana 2/1, and when it's put into a graveyard from play, we're gonna blow up your land. No one will touch the Goblin Gardener. Imagine playing a deck full of cards that if they die, the opponents will like lose their lands. That would be hilarious. Does anyone have a deck designed like that? There's gotta be more than one deck like this out there. Or sorry, more than one card like this out there. It's like almost like Sundering Titan. There's gotta be some like Sundering Titans that don't ETB, but ETB on death. Or some other effect. If you have a contract with the Orzhov, you're definitely not going to heaven. I heard they're all about the money in Orzhov. They tax you. They're like the government. Grestian Serpentine says, Goblin Gardener has one of the best flavor text. Years of attempts have brought the goblins no closer to growing a sausage tree. Not easy growing them sausages. Dinglebag with Golgari Thug. It's a bit of a sad thing to set. What is this? Like, when it dies, put target creature card. Oh, this is not too bad. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, you can get in the graveyard for your dredging mechanic, but when it dies, it actually does have some useful mechanic. You put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library, just in case you're not dredging. Just in case you're just trying to play dredge in a fair way, which I have never heard of anyone do ever. The Abyssal trying to get Wonder. I have no idea why Wonder would be in your sacrifice deck, honestly. Like, what's it even doing there? 2/2 flyer. As long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. I mean, I guess you could... There's a world where you're playing blue-black zombies, and of course there's going to be some sack outlet in that deck. And zombies, not the most evasive creature in the world, right? So I guess you could, like, sacrifice Wonder. You could play it, sacrifice it, and... Oh, they reprinted this into Modern. Interesting. You could sacrifice and give all your zombie tokens flying, and it would work. Works the same way as Anger, though. Well, yeah, and well, here's the thing. Like, Red has a lot of... I feel like Red has a lot of sacrifice stuff. So getting Anger in the graveyard is just more likely. Also, probably good on strategy. I just don't see as many decks playing Wonder with a sacrifice strategy, but I could see a zombie deck making it work. Or mill it. Well, you could mill it, but that's against the nature of this show. Okay, so we have, I think, 3 more? Marcio. At Sushi. The Blazing Sky. The Blaze, you're saying at Sushi likes to blaze it up? Is what you say. Maybe more Gruul than Mono Red. Am I right, fellas? Okay, it's a 4-mana 4/4 Dragon Spirit with Flying and Trample. Now, when it dies, exile the top 2 cards of your library until end of turn. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those You may play those cards, or you can create 3 treasure tokens. That's actually also very good value. Elixir with Bolar. The card doesn't exist. As far as I know. You know what they say, 420 blaze it. Yeah, well, hey, you said it, not me. Avatar of Woe, Necropede. It's a board wipe, just add water. Pia's Revolution equals burn for your Athros. No card yet, please. Oh, we got you now. We have a 2-mana 1/1 with Infect. Now, when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Honestly, you probably want to keep this on the battlefield. Probably. Maybe, maybe not. It's Baylor. Okay, Elixir has been redeemed by Matthias. Okay, it's a 5-mana 5/5 flying demon. Now, when it attacks or dies, so could do both in combat. Choose 1 or more. Each mode must target a different player, and target opponent draws 3 cards, then discards 3 cards at random. Random, eh? Better be lucky. Target opponent sacrifices a non-token artifact, or Baylor? I don't know. Don't know how to pronounce this damn thing. Baylor deals damage to target opponent equal to the number of cards in their hand. So that's interesting. You could attack, and then after combat, like, sacrifice it and get extra value. Okay, we also have King Ginger with Ashen Rider. True story. You're not wrong. When this thing dies, so does something of yours. The 8-mana flyer, when it enters the battlefield or die. It actually specifically has to die. It's not when it leaves the battlefield. It enters the battlefield or it's dead. So, it's okay. It's gonna blow something up again. Get it good. And that's it. We had a great show today. These are all the things you can sacrifice at will. It's dangerous to go alone. Sacrifice this. As usual, we do this 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Also, thank you very much for supporting the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even a super chat to help other people be part of the show, thank you so much for the support. And of course, we got to thank the creativity of the coffee crew every single day. People like Toads and Christopher B, Tammy, Darkest Angel, King Arthas, Toilet Duck, Avatar of Woe, Luca, Steve Cooper, Jess. We got Jess, Matthias, King Ginger, Kano, because you guys are the coffee crew. So keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.